Welcome back to Disorderly Game Reviews with Transcendent Studios. I'm Peter Vawter, and today we're playing Fall Guys. This is the second time I've played this game. I played for about 10 minutes a couple of days ago when it had just come out, but it was a lot harder to find full groups of people to play with. I guess I was playing at a wrong time. 4 a.m. is apparently not the time when people are on. So, we're going to be playing this game today, and of course this, as always, is a safe spot for people to come and share their stories of breakthrough or struggle and what they're dealing with. About 3 years ago, a little more than 3 years ago now, I had a medical accident at a dentist's office where my heart stopped twice, and the physical and emotional fallout of that has been pretty terrible. It has affected my life in a lot of ways. I was diagnosed with one of the highest levels of PTSD available, and got generalized anxiety disorder and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm currently working through and working to improve my life through with counseling and exercise. And so a big part of my life before all that happened and after that has been video games. And there was about 9 months in the middle there where I couldn't even play video games, watch TV, or read books. So I'm starting to get back into video games again, and something that I noticed was not a lot of video games are reviewed for people with anxiety disorders, and I know there's tons of us out there. And so I'm starting up some reviews and some streams where people can kind of get beads on games before they purchase them, and maybe see what they might enjoy or might want to avoid. So this is my first stream on this game, and I have a little bit of different credentials on what I would consider good games for people with disabilities. It's not always about graphics or gameplay necessarily, but those do play a part. The things that I rate games in for disabilities with is things like how calm are they, how controllable are they, what do they look like, what does the community side of these games look like. And so I guess my first takes on this game is, number one, it looks terrific. The colors are very inviting. They aren't morbid by any means. They're essentially absurdly fun and bright and enjoyable. And those are always encouraging for things like depression, anxiety, things that are difficult. The movement seems to be pretty good. The controllability is great, which is a big perk when dealing with anxiety. If you feel like you aren't in control of even something that you're trying to control, like a video game, that can be pretty anxiety-ridden in itself. So I don't feel like I'm falling behind when I'm trying to control this. Heck, I even qualified, which I thought was pretty astonishing for playing this for the second time. Another part of what I would consider a disorderly review is the community side of things, and it is nice to be playing against real people, so that would tick my community meter up a few notches, as it's nice to not just play against computer enemies, but actually have real interactions on a certain level with people. But I did see in reviewing this game that you can play with your friends, which I think would be amazing, to be on the same team and to fight other people. That would push like my 1 out of 10 community rating on this probably up to about an 8. I haven't experienced that type of gameplay yet, but I'm more than interested in trying it sometime with some friends, and maybe there'll be a stream where I'll do that. A couple other things that go into my disorderly reviews is how bite-sized is a game, and this game feels pretty bite-sized. There's not a lot of things you can do to save the game or save progress, but it's nice that this game has very quick and engaging gameplay. The amount that I've played so far is, my goodness, how bad can I be? Is not a lot at all, but I don't feel like I'm not making progress, even if I'm just playing this game over and over again, because the levels are quick. They have really good save points during the game, which is encouraging. So you don't have to replay the whole round again. So you never feel like you actually get totally waylaid while playing this game. I don't think I'll make this qualification. And I didn't. Another thing that's neat about this game being bite-sized is I can jump right back in if I want. And I can even watch other people play, so I can take small breaks when I either get tired of it, but I don't necessarily want to stop playing. And any little bit of progress I make makes some sort of redeemable or keepable quality, like apparel or other things like that for my little guy here. So I always feel like this game so far has forward movement, even if I only spend 5 or 10 minutes playing it, which is really good, because with anxiety and PTSD, games can get me wound up in ways that I didn't expect, or bring anxiety up that I wasn't expecting. So there's certain limits I have on playing games, and that's usually for me between 15 and 45 minutes, depending upon the game. So this has pretty high bite-sized ratings for me as well, probably about an 8 or a 9, I would say, because it's so quick, it's so fun, and you always get something for the little effort you put into it, even if you can't save and go back to certain things. So so far this is getting some pretty good ratings for a disorderly review. I don't feel like it's terribly anxiety creating. I feel like it's kind of fun. I like the fun views and the creative situations that you get into. I like how it's constantly different. One of the other things that I review games on is the ability to customize them. And this game is quite customizable as you play. Of course, you can add different apparel and things to your person, and that allows you to be creative and engage your own identity, so to speak, in this game, which I think is a really powerful thing when combating anxiety, PTSD, and other things like that. And even in this, where I don't seem to be making any progress, I don't feel like I don't feel overwhelmed or upset at this game, and that's just me. It may be upsetting or very difficult for other people, but I think it's kind of like a carnival ride in many ways, where it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be fun. And I'm kind of surprised at how fun this game can be. Even when I'm so bad at it. So, getting pretty high ratings in the Disorderly Reviews world. And the price is right. That's another thing that I find is a very important thing when you're dealing with disabilities or haven't worked in 3 years like me. And it's free, so that's wonderful. Let's see, other things. I wouldn't call it necessarily calm, but I wouldn't call it aggravating by any means. I don't feel like the energy of this game is something that forces me to feel anxious. It's just fun energy that easily resets and doesn't have a lot of what I would call consequence in it. There are some games that any mistake you make has some pretty dire consequences, and that kind of energy and intensity can be a lot more triggering or difficult. For instance, something like Assassin's Creed has a lot of very intense moments and fights and whatnot. However, this game can be just as fast and intense, but there's not that if I die here, something goes really poorly. So I think this is a really great game for people with anxieties. It's fun, it's colorful, it's inexpensive, it's enjoyable. It's low impact, both I guess on the emotions as well as low impact in the way of having like your failures be permanent, so that's always nice. And it's quite fun even to get stopped and not make it through things, so I don't know, I think it's a great game, especially for people with anxieties. But that's my take from my experience and what I'm experiencing myself. Ooh, just missed that qualification. Not too bad. But so, again, very impressed with Fall Guys. May do a full review video and share a bit about it. And, it was a blast spending time with you all today. Thanks for stopping by and seeing us. We hope to see you on other streams, and would love to hear your stories of victory and how you're dealing with things like PTSD, trauma, and stress, and how you're winning little victories in your life towards that. It's been a pleasure to be with you all. Again, this is Disorderly Game Reviews for Transcendent Studios, and I'm Peter Vawter, signing off. Thank you all for joining me, and have a great day.